Mike. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees for the Spring Independent School District is officially called to order on Tuesday, January 9th, 2024, and the time is now 7:03 p.m. Trustees present are Trustee Adams, Trustee Correa, Trustee Hodges, Trustee Durant, Trustee Jensen, Trustee Newhouse, and Trustee McDaniel. I'd like to ask everyone to turn off or silence any cell phones or electronic devices. Thank you. At this time, our Board Vice President and our Board Equity Committee lead, Winfred Adams Jr., will begin the meeting by reading the Spring ISD Equity Statement.
Thank you, Madam President. Spring Independent School District strongly believes in educational and racial equity as fundamental aspects of its core mission and purpose, embodied through any program, practice, decision, or action that affects all students, with a strategic focus on those choices and policies that most strongly impact marginalized students. We believe all students, regardless of their ability, ethnicity, language, race, religion, gender identity, and status, should have equitable access to opportunities, resources, support systems, and educational rigor in order to maximize their academic success and social emotional well-being. We believe every Spring Independent School District student is valuable and possesses individual strengths and characteristics that make our district a great place to learn and grow. Moreover, we seek to act on that belief, instituting policies and practices that value diversity, committing ourselves as a district to continued growth and development, and working to support the success of every student in all that we do.
Thank you, Trustee Adams. Tonight's presentation of colors will be led by the Westfield Mustang Army JROTC. The pledges will be led by Westfield Mustang Cadet Battalion Commander, Cadet Captain Nayla Colonzo. The Color Guard Commander carrying the U.S. flag is First Lieutenant Kevin Minez. Carrying the Texas flag is Private First Class Larry Ponce. Left rifle is Private Natalia Ramirez. Right rifle is Private Elsie Melendez. The Westfield Mustang Army, JROTC, is led by Lieutenant Colonel Jacqueline Guillory and Sergeant First Class Reginald Harris. So at this time, would everyone please rise?
Mark time. March. Ready. Hold. About. Face. Present. Arms. Order. Arms. Forward. March. Ready. Hold.
At this time, I ask that those present please quietly observe a moment of silence in your own way. Thank you. You may be seated. Our next item this evening is our superintendent remarks. So we will now hear from our superintendent of schools, Dr. Lapita Hinojosa.
Thank you, President Durant and members of the board, our audience here today, present today, and then those of you that are online. You know, I hope everyone had a wonderful break. This winter break. We're so excited to welcome everyone back. I know our students were excited to come back to school. I urge you to visit all of our social media sites. You're going to see some great pictures of just our students, our teachers, everyone just enjoying being back together. And so we are excited for the final stretch of our 2023-2024 school year. And our goal is to keep pushing hard and to finish strong. As many of you know, this is January, and it is officially in the state of Texas, our Board Recognition Month. And it is very special for us to be able to officially thank our Board of Trustees for all that they do for us. We take this opportunity in January, but we definitely know that it happens every day throughout the entire year. And I'd like to say, and I know you all agree with me, that we do have the best board in the state of Texas. So please join me in congratulating our board. And you know, previously we had the opportunity to treat our board, our principals and our central office staff had the opportunity to treat our board with a very special dinner. And we had the opportunity to preview a special video. And so now we're going to make it public and official. I'd like to ask Mr. King if he would play this video for us.
Our board members moved the whole district towards closing the learning gaps
with equitable opportunities in education.
It's their work that brings us the technology and opportunities to succeed.
I'm learning Spanish and I'm learning English. My pre-K class go all day, and that's how I like it.
They make it possible for me to get industry certifications while I'm still in high school.
I can graduate with an associate's degree.
I might get an associate's degree with the class of 2030, or maybe even sooner.
With their commitment to student safety, we know that we can count on them.
They keep our community involved in education.
And they represent all of us when they meet with our legislators in Austin.
They place a strong emphasis on professional development opportunities for our staff members.
And they do all of that without getting paid.
Wait, what?
You know how our campuses like us to volunteer in our communities? Well, they are volunteers too.
So, we just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I really think our students say it best. You know, we thank you, our board, for all that you do. And like the students said, many people do not know this, that this is volunteer work. You do not get paid for it. And so we are very appreciative of the long hours that you invest in these meetings, visiting our schools, participating in so many of the events that our schools have, that our communities have, and most importantly, advocating for public education. And so we, as the administration, we acknowledge the time, the dedication it takes to serve. And so I want to personally thank each and every one of you for the work that you do in supporting Spring ISD. And we want to ask all of our stakeholders, all of you out in the audience here and those watching us remotely, please take the time this month to thank our board, celebrate them for their incredible work. And so as we do in Spring ISD, we always have a hashtag. So this is hashtag Thanks Spring ISD Board. Once again, hashtag Thanks Spring ISD Board. So take the time, go on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and just reach out and thank our board for their support and their continuous dedication. And so next, I want to do just a public service announcement. Want to make sure that you all know that our State of the District breakfast is coming up. And this is our opportunity to really engage you, our community, and our business partners, our elected officials, all of you all, to come out on Thursday, January 25th at 7:30. This is our annual State of the District breakfast, and you'll have the opportunity to learn about all the great things that we have going on in the district. What are the plans? What have we done since our bond was approved? So we want to invite you. The seats are only $40. Come out and join us. Be a supporter of Spring ISD. And I really want to urge you, this is a time you can get involved, plus learn about all the great things happening in spring. And then, last but not least, I do want to do some shout outs. January is also National Mentoring Month. And here in Spring ISD, we really value our mentors, our tutors, and we have a very special program. It's our Vine Mentoring Program. It's now been in existence for 4 years. And I'll tell you, it has been growing tremendously, where we now have hundreds of volunteers that mentor our students. They take the time during the day to come out and spend some time with our students, and we're so very grateful for the positive impact that they're having in our students. I also want to acknowledge 3 trustees here that not only serve as trustees, but they also mentor our students. We have Mr. Adams, we have Ms. McDaniel, we have Ms. Durant, that each mentor students here in Spring ISD. And so we want to do a call out to join us, celebrating our mentors and the relationship that they have with our students. We will be hosting, I see Ms. Trinita Carroll here. She's our Executive Director of Family and Community Engagement, and this mentoring program is under her leadership. We will be hosting a mid-year mentor meetup dinner coming up on Tuesday, January 16th. And I want to look forward to our mentors coming out, spending some time with our students. And then if you're interested in mentoring, it's very simple. Go to our website, Put in the word mentor, just right up in the search bar, and you'll get right to our Vine mentoring program, and we want you to sign up. And then last but not least, I want to take the opportunity to introduce two important leadership announcements that we have here in the district. First, I'd like to recognize our new athletic director. Mr. Daryl Oliver has been named as our new athletic director. He previously served as interim AD, or athletic director, and he came to Spring ISD as the assistant athletic director. We are very proud to share that he is Spring ISD's first African American athletic director. So we are making history in our district. We held a nationwide search, and Coach Oliver was clearly the top choice for Spring ISD. With 20 years of coaching experience, Mr. Oliver, Coach Oliver as I like to call him, he's my coach. Coach Oliver has an extensive background in leadership and athletics. He began his career as the 9th grade coordinator and head football coach at Richardson Junior High back in 2004. He went on in Richardson to serve in roles as athletic director, assistant principal, head football coach, and even much more. Coach Oliver, I'd like for you to please come forward and be recognized. If you'll join at the podium, we'd like to recognize you.
First of all, I know Dr. Hinojosa likes us to stay on script, so I'm going to try and do that. So, Madam Board President, Board of Trustees, Dr. Hinojosa, Senior Leadership Team, and assembled guests. First thing I really want to say is that in this role, it is absolutely a privilege to be able to serve, and especially in a district like Spring ISD, and to be able to be an integral part of such a prolific athletic program around the state of Texas. And to be in that position to lead that group is tremendous. So I'm really excited about that. But I do want to say that in this interim process and in this interim role, no great leader does anything without support. And I noticed here in the room some people surprised me and showed up today. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I had a lot of support around the state of Texas from athletic directors throughout the state of Texas, here in the area, here in the region. The coaches here in Spring ISD stepped up, and I mean, they really, really stepped up. Everything I asked them to do, they did, and no one hesitated, and so I have to give them credit. So if they're in the room, I really want them to stand up and be recognized. Okay.
They're being shy, but they'll stand up.
It's really important for me to recognize them because, again, behind the scenes, there's a lot of things that go on that a lot of people are not aware of. I think when individuals come to a football game, they see the finished product. But everything that goes on from 6 o'clock that morning until you guys show up at 7 o'clock at kickoff, there's a lot of work. So I really want to recognize them. The other thing that's really important to me is our athletic staff was tremendous, and they're the ones who surprised me, so I really wish they would stand and be recognized. The entire athletic department is here, so that's a big deal.
Even our custodians.
Normally don't always get them to, but they show up here, so that's amazing. I know the other thing, and I want to be brief, but I just can't leave the podium without giving credit where credit is due. The Spring Police Department was absolutely tremendous during this process too. So I don't know if they're here in the room or not, but certainly everything that Chief Rodrigue and his staff did is the reason why we made it safe and made everything effective throughout that entire transitional process. So they definitely need to be recognized as well. So, but if they are here, they should be recognized. And there's no way that I could actually go home without recognizing the real support system, which is my family, because my daughter's here. She coaches at Dekaney High School, and I cannot believe I got her to come up to the stadium a couple nights, 11 o'clock, and she actually did some work. So my daughter, Kaylin, who is a volleyball and track coach at Dekaney, is here as well. And the person who actually allowed, and I'm going to use the word allowed me to do what I do is my wife, Patricia. All the hours, the 10, 12, 14-hour days, 7 days a week, she never complained, and she always helped. So I have to recognize her, or I'm not going home. So again, Dr. Host, I really appreciate it. I'm really, really excited about the opportunities we have to continue to do what we're doing. We do a lot of things great around the state of Texas. I don't know that everybody in the room recognizes how well respected we are. So I'm very excited about doing that and continuing to move in that direction. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach. And I don't want anyone to leave because we have one more announcement and then we want to take some pictures. And you all know when we take pictures, we come down in here, so don't anyone move. We have one more announcement, and that is our new principal at Thompson Elementary, Ms. Vernica Day. Ms. Day was chosen through a rigorous selection process and brings more than 23 years of experience in education. She began her career as an ESL teacher and department chair in Pasadena ISD before quickly joining Spring ISD back in 2007 as an ESL department chair and leadership team member at Clawton Middle School. She served as an assistant principal at Thompson before joining Link Elementary in 2013, where she served until she returned back home to Thompson Elementary in 2016. Ms. Day, please, we'd like to hear a little bit from you too.
Thank you, Dr. Hinojosa, President Durant, Dr. Hinojosa, all the board members, senior leadership, and all of my support system. I want to say thank you all so much for including me in your Grow Your Own process. I am peacock proud to continue to lead at Thompson Elementary. I have led at Thompson Elementary for over 11 years now. So I know the students, I know the staff, I know the community. So I am going to continue the work at Thompson Elementary. I am going to continue to be approachable, accessible, and available at all times, even when the work gets hard, because I know it will be hard and it won't always be a honeymoon, but I really appreciate this opportunity and you all seeing the commitment in me to continue to lead at Thompson Elementary. I would like to recognize some people. I don't know if they're here or if they're online because we had a family emergency tonight, but my husband Ken may be somewhere. He's here. Hey. And then my son couldn't be here. They had something to happen, but I have a special sister friend. She used to work here in the district, and I was her assistant principal, and then we became good friends, and that's Kendra Kelly. Would you stand, Miss Kelly?
Yes.
And if there's anyone else there, I had a few people that I mentored that may be in the building. If you're here, just wave, or they may be online somewhere. Okay, thank you guys so much. I'm looking forward to working with you all, and I'm from the Show Me State, St. Louis, Missouri, so I'm going to show you what we're going to do at Thompson Elementary.
All right, we take you on it. And I see Dr. Amerson, your proud mentor back there. So we're going to go ahead and come to the horseshoe, and we'll start with Coach Oliver. If you'll join us, and we'd like to take a picture with you, and then Miss Day after Coach Oliver.
Good evening, Madam President, trustees, Dr. Hinojosa, and everyone in attendance and watching online. To begin this portion of our meeting, we have a special proclamation from the Harris County Precinct 3 Commissioner, Mr. Tom Ramsey. And he actually has sent a copy for all of you, and I will read the proclamation before we hand it over. The Honorable Harris County Precinct 3 Commissioner Tom S. Ramsey, P.E., hereby recognizes, and then your board member name, for your service to Spring ISD to January 9th, 2023. As Precinct 3 Commissioner of Harris County, Texas, on behalf of the constituents of Harris County, it is my honor to recognize and congratulate Carmen Correa, in this case, for your faithful service on the Spring ISD Board of Trustees. Your dedication to steward the educational experience for students in our community are truly making the district a great place to live and learn. Thank you for your invaluable contributions to the board as you serve the faculty, students, and families. We wish you continued success in Harris County Precinct 3, signed by Thomas Ramsey, P.E. We have a special guest here actually tonight from Tom Ramsey's office, in charge of special projects and community involvement. Mr. Lawrence Bell is here, and he's actually going to hand you your proclamations and take a photo. Come on, Mr. Bell. There you go, sir. All right, thank you for coming.
Well, you want me to hand it to all of them?
Well, yeah, and we'll get a photo real quick. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Bell. Appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, as we continue our celebration of the month of January as Board Appreciation Month, we'd also like to share with you an official proclamation from our governor in honor of the occasion. And this is what the proclamation reads. As a nation always looking toward the future, we are continuously challenged to ensure that young Americans are empowered with the diligence, skills, and responsibility necessary to succeed at the challenges before them. It is through a quality education that we place students firmly on the path to a lifetime of excellence and achievement. This has been the mission of educators and administrators throughout our state. Ensuring an excellent education is the work of many, and local school boards collaborate with teachers, parents, stakeholders to promote state and national standards in ways that reflect the community's values. By doing so, they inspire a lifelong love of learning for the next generation of Texas leaders. At this time, I encourage all Texans to celebrate the more than 7,000 school board members across the Lone Star State. Their commitment to education and their communities represents the best of Texas, and they will have a key role to play as we strive to secure the future of the Lone Star State. Therefore, I do hereby proclaim January 2024 to be School Board Recognition Month in Texas and urge all Texans to observe the occasion with appropriate ceremonies and activities. And that we have the proclamation here, which we will give to Jeremy here. All right? Okay. And next, I believe we have, also in honor of Board Appreciation Month, the Spring ISD chapter of the American Federation of Teachers came together to present our trustees with special gifts to mark the occasion, which I believe y'all have received. We're incredibly grateful for the strong partnership between Spring AFT and the district, which not only helps to ensure that teachers in our district receive the ongoing support they deserve, but which also continues to positively impact the lives and academic success of our Spring ISD students each and every day. At this time, I'd like to invite any representatives of the Spring AFT to stand and be recognized. I think I saw some over here. Spring AFT. All right. Thank you for all you do on behalf of educators and to our students. And at this time, I'd like to invite Ms. Trinita Carroll up for a special presentation.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Schubart. Good evening, President Durant, members of the board, and Dr. Hinojosa. I am Trinita Carroll, Executive Director of Family and Community Engagement. The Family and Community Engagement Department works with, and we partner with various community agencies and groups to really focus on the academic, social, and emotional success of our students and our families. We love our partnership with the San Jacinto Girl Scouts because they develop our future female leaders. And so I would like to introduce Mrs. Mandalay Davis, who serves as the Executive Director of San Jacinto Girl Scouts. And she is going to introduce some of our very own Girl Scouts and other members of San Jacinto Girl Scouts. She'll share more information about our partnership and present you all with a token of their appreciation for our partnership. Ms. Davis?
Thank you. Good evening, President Durant, all members of the Board of Trustees, Superintendent Hinojosa, all the senior leaders, and all who serve Spring ISD. I am Mandalay Davis, and I serve as the Chief Membership Officer of the San Jacinto Council of the Girl Scouts, and it's my distinct honor and pleasure to further our relationships with community organizations and school systems to continue our mission of impacting girls. And we build girls of courage, confidence, and character. That is who we are and what we stand for. And when I met with Dr. Hinojosa, she was emphatic about thinking back positively to her experiences as a Girl Scout. We're so excited to know that, Dr. Hinojosa, but more importantly, she was emphatic about caring more about the girls who are in Spring ISD. We serve through 26 counties, which reaches from far south as Victoria to the Texas-Louisiana border, but we also serve our girls in Spring ISD. And I want you to peek right over there at those little ladies who are our Girl Scouts. Through our Girl Scout leadership experience, say hey, we provide age-appropriate programming that are accessible to girls. We serve our girls in grades K through 12, starting at the young age of 5 years old. And we're so excited that through our programming, we celebrate diversity, inclusivity, and support the mental wellness, all key tenets of what we know that our children need most. And it is through 4 core pillars of our programming, exposing our girls through the outdoors, through STEM, through entrepreneurship, our cookie program, and through developing life skills and giving our girls travel opportunities. And so it is that opportunity to give girls choice and voice in a variety of activities, to have supportive adult relationships, to go through the processes that we've talked about. We then are able to contribute to the development of a positive citizenry. I want you to know that our programs are at no cost to schools. Families can join for $25 annually, and if that is a barrier, we remove that barrier through scholarship dollars. And we start troops with 2 unrelated adults, passionate adults, who are, some of them are in the audience tonight, who have a passion for developing girls. And all it takes is 5 little girls and a passion to start a Girl Scout troop. I want to highlight that we are currently serving approximately 160 girls in Spring ISD in 4 campuses through our partnership with Fallbrook Church, which is a mega troop, And we have a startup, and very thankful to Constable Kiara Jacobs, who saw the need and was interested and started a troop near Smith Elementary. So it is the good heart of people such as yourselves, and so we want to pause to say thank you. And so I want to invite the little ladies who are a range of Girl Scouts here up to the board to say thank you for your tireless efforts, for the resources that you constantly give, and in the spirit of saying thank you to our school board, I will bring the girls up. They have some words to share very briefly. Yes, take the
Special picture with anyone in particular while you're up here?
Whatever's appropriate. Okay. All right.
We're gonna take a selfie. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
There we go.
Okay, Magdalene, get in there. And don't we,
Okay, guys, we ready? All right, right here, guys. Right here. Nice smiles, everybody. And here we go. Hang on. Here we go one more time.
Ready? One more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Nice job. Nice job.
Yeah, because I have you written. Yes,
okay, now I'm about to hug you.
No, we have some. Okay, now moving on to the recognition portion of our meeting. Our first recognition item this evening is a spotlight in honor of the Spring ISD athletic teams that made it to the playoffs during the fall semester. At this time, I'd like to invite up to the podium our newly appointed Director of Athletics, Coach Darrell Oliver, to tell us more about the many successes of the fall athletic season across the district.
Okay, once again, Madam Board President, Board of Trustees, Dr. Hinojosa, Senior Leadership Team, and guests. This is a very, very proud moment. As I mentioned before, one thing that we're very, very excited about is our athletic programs here in Spring ISD. And around the state, we do get a lot of recognition, but I don't think we give the recognition where it does deserve. to go sometimes, so we certainly want to recognize some things that we've accomplished this year. And one thing that's really, really proud, or is a big deal for me, is during the fall semester, we only have 3 sports going, and we made the playoffs in every single sport except one. So what we're going to do at this time, we're going to start with cross country, where we had an awful lot of success. So we're going to start with Dekaney High School, which we have the boys cross country team that made it 1 race away from actually qualifying for the state championship. So we'd like to recognize Dekaney's boys cross country team and head coach Eldon Johnson. Coach, will you come on up? This is your one moment. First, that is correct. There we go. That is correct. 1 race away. So let's keep that theme going. Let's move now to Spring High School, where both the boys and the girls cross-country team came 1 race away from making it to the state championship. So let's recognize the boys, which was Tortue Cargo, head coach, and our head coach for the girls cross-country team at Spring High School, the state regional finals, Coach Claudia Johnson. Moving on to Westfield High School. Westfield High School, let's keep that theme going. 1 race away from qualifying for the state championship, making it also as a state regional finalist, the Westfield girls cross-country team led by Coach Roger Baxter. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your cross-country head coaches, and what a tremendous season they had. That is a very difficult feat to accomplish, and again, that close to state. So once again, I want to recognize our cross-country head coaches. Okay.
One of my top runners, she was accepted to Iowa State D1 division.
Once again, very, very proud of those programs. Okay, let's move to volleyball. In volleyball, our Westfield Mustangs, which made it to the state playoffs and were by-district finalists, we want to recognize head coach Shay Stevenson. She still got it, so y'all don't challenge her. She still got it. I've seen her practices. And now let's move to our final sport of the year, which is football, which this is a tremendous feat. A lot of athletic directors around the state are very envious of what we do, and all of our teams made the playoffs again. So let's start with the tremendous job that is done at Dekaney High School. They were the district runner-up this year. I don't know that anybody overcame more adversity with injuries and the things that they had to do, and they still were the district runner-up and still made the playoffs. Let's give it up for head coach Anthony Williams. While Coach Williams is coming up, we're going to move now to Spring High School, which Spring High School did also a tremendous job throughout the season with the changes they had to endure, still made the playoffs. The by-district finalists are your Spring Lions, led by head coach Antonio Singleton. And finally, our last program, which is Westfield High School, which had a tremendous season once again. Their head coach was invited to the American Football Coaches Association, so he's probably getting off a plane right now. All the things that they have done this year, once again, they were undefeated district champions. They were your by-district champions, your area champions, your regional champions, and state quarterfinalists for the second year in a row. Your Westfield Mustangs, led by head coach Matt Meekins, and representing them tonight are Coach Derek Lamont and Larry Cole. Once again, I want to reiterate how difficult this is to accomplish. That's why we're very proud of our student athletes and the coaches and the time that they put in. So once again, give it up for all of our coaches and their playoff success, for our student athletes here at Spring ISD.
All right, that looks good to me. All right, guys, here we go. All right, here we go. Nice smiles. Hang on. Gonna do one more, guys. All right, here we go. Excellent, thank you. Congratulations. Next up this evening, we are shining a spotlight on two members of Spring ISD's Special Services Department, Director of Advanced Academics Amy Ellingson and Director of Special Services Dr. Ayana Lebron. Amy Ellingson was recently installed on the Board of Directors of the Texas Association for the Gifted and Talented, TAGT, to serve as an at-large representative for a 2-year term. The Texas Association for the Gifted and Talented is the nation's largest state advocacy group of its kind, empowering educators and parents to meet the unique needs of gifted and talented students from every background. Last fall, just a few months after joining the team here in Spring ISD, Ms. Ellingson was already representing the district as a presenter and panel moderator at TAGT's annual statewide conference, using her experience to help other educators grow stronger. Also with us this evening is Dr. Ayana Lebron, Spring ISD's longtime Director of Special Services for Instruction and Campus Support. Dr. Lebron was recently installed for a second 2-year term on the Board of Directors for the Gulf Coast Administrators of Special Education, GCASE, for serving as the group's parliamentarian. Gulf Coast Administrators of Special Education provides educators with professional development opportunities, resources, and scholarships to help enhance the quality of services provided to students with disabilities in Texas. Dr. Lebron brings more than 20 years of experience as an educator to her role on the group's board. That includes her many years here in Spring ISD, where she first arrived in 2006 to help open Carl Winchie Senior High School and build the special education department there, before later joining the central office team. The Special Services Department is proud of Ms. Ellingson and Ms. Lebron and Dr. Lebron for sharing their expertise beyond the boundaries of Spring ISD and providing educational leadership through their work with these important professional organizations. Their board appointments provide just 2 wonderful examples of the incredible talent here in Spring ISD and how district staff members are making a real difference and impacting students' lives across the entire state and the nation. The district is grateful to have them as members of its Special Services Department and as champions of the important work of supporting every child and every day here in Spring ISD. Let's welcome them to the horseshoe for a photo. Are they in the audience?
And finally, this evening, we have a spotlight recognition in honor of our Spring ISD Special Education Department and the Special Education team members who have worked tirelessly to accomplish growth and progress over the past 3 years with the goal of optimizing the achievement of students with disabilities. To tell us more about some of these recent achievements, including in the area of performance-based monitoring, I'd like to invite to the podium our Executive Director of Special Education, Dr. Talisa Edwards.
Good evening again, Board President Durant, Board of Trustees, Dr. Hinojosa, Superintendent Dr. Hinojosa, our senior leadership, and all of our members of the audience who are extra advocates of equitable education for all students. I'm so very excited to share that annually TEA, who provides a monitoring report of progress monitoring and accountability, provided one again late last fall. And it really identified what we call results-driven accountability, or RDA. We've presented on this before, and we were making progress. I'm very excited to share that our 23 results demonstrate that our special education students have made continued growth, so significant, not just in the domain of academic achievement and post-secondary results, but also in discipline. We have, for the past 4 years, had significant disproportionality in our student discipline, specifically for students with disabilities. We have been working very hard across all settings, across different job types, and making sure that our students are able to access their educational needs in the classroom setting where maybe they need some extra instruction on behavioral supports, but we're making sure that those students have access to those types of instructional strategies. As a result, our RDA findings from TEA have identified that our students have made such progress that we've reduced our significant disproportionality. In the past, for those 4 years, we've had to set aside 15% of our federal funds because we've been significantly disproportionate. This finding from our most recent RDA report indicated that we are no longer significantly disproportionate. We no longer have to set aside the 15%, which actually resulted in about $1 million. So we are so proud of the work that has been done. This work is not specific to a particular person, and so I'm very excited that despite the fact that we've had lots of vacancies, and we've talked about that across all of our different staff group members, whether it's teachers, paraprofessionals, our assessment staff like our diagnosticians, LSSPs, or SLPs, or other folks that are critical to the work of our students, we have made tremendous gains. We continue to make those gains, and it's really because you all provide the support that we need. So it's really appropriate that you all share in the celebration of this work, and I'm excited also to note that we have some folks here. As you heard the celebration as I walked up, it's not for me, it's the collective understanding of what we're about to celebrate, and if we can recognize those that are here. If you are here and a member of someone who supports special education, whether you are a teacher, a paraprofessional, an assessment member, a specialist, a principal, we would like for you to stand up and come and be recognized as well. So thank you all so much. Do we all come? Can they all just shake a hand? Everyone was very excited.
Okay, everyone, for our right. So our next item is agenda participation. This item allows members of the public an opportunity to speak on items that are listed on tonight's agenda before they are considered by the board. Mr. Binkley, is there anyone signed up for agenda participation?
No, Madam President, there is not.
Thank you. Our next item is public participation. Mr. Binkley, is there anyone signed up for public participation?
No, Madam President, there is not.
Thank you. For our next item, I'd like to ask any of the board if they have any comments they'd like to make this evening. Go ahead, Trustee Adams.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to talk a bit about civic engagement and involvement in our legislative process, but even the local political process. I am currently working on a grant that the Houston Endowment is extending to institutions around Harris County to increase public participation in elections and civic life. And I had heard, I thought, Ms. Carroll, I see you nodding your head, that Spring ISD is also applying for one of these grants. I know Aldine got this grant. And I want to encourage people. We have a primary coming up in March. It's just really important and something that we should model for the children, that we engage in our political process and that we're knowledgeable about the issues, about the candidates involved in any race. I don't care if it's dog catcher. We need to make sure that we're modeling and educating our publics. I just want to encourage people to become aware of what's going on politically and engage in the process, whatever side of the aisle you're on. It's important to make yourself knowledgeable and engaged. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you. For our next item, I'd like to recognize our Chief of Academics and School Leadership, Dr. Craig Quare.
Thank you, President Durant, esteemed members of the board, Superintendent Hinojosa. If we recall at last week's work session, I brought before the board a wonderful grant opportunity being provided to DeWitt Middle School for the 21st Century Learning Program in partnership with the Harris County Department of Education. So I'm bringing back before you this interlocal agreement and asking that the board approve the proposed agreement with the Harris County Department of Education for the 21st Century Learning Grant Program at DeWitt Middle School for the amount of $103,600.
Fantastic. I had one question.
Can I ask you if I
yes.
can get a motion?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. You asked me that. I'll now entertain a motion on the interlocal agreement.
Madam President, I move that the Board of Trustees approve the proposed interlocal agreement with Harris County Department of Education for the 21st Century Grant Program at DeWitt Middle School.
I second the motion.
It's been moved by Trustee Hodges and seconded by Trustee Jensen that the Board of Trustees approve the proposed interlocal agreement with Harris County Department of Education for the 21st Century Grant Program at DeWitt Middle School. Is there any discussion? Trustee Correa.
Quick question. Do we have any concerns on page 26 of 50, section 4? It talks about obligations during the COVID-19 pandemic. Since we're not officially in the pandemic anymore, and seeing that the sub-recipient, let me find that page. Basically, TEA is referenced in here, and it talks about sub-contingencies, and so I didn't know if we had any concerns about if there was, with this language in the contract.
Yes, ma'am, I know exactly what you're referencing. No, ma'am, no concerns regarding the language of the contract.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Any abstentions? The motion carries 6-4 and 1 abstention.
Thank you, board.
Thank you. Our next item is our Board of Trustees Ad Hoc Committee report outs. And so we'll start first with the Audit Committee, and I'll recognize Trustee Newhouse.
Thank you, thank you. Madam President, previously, our internal auditor gave us a timeline of activities that we'll be carrying on, that we will be doing throughout the year here. And so at this time, the internal auditor is focusing on attendance reviews for us, and we'll share that information after the completion of that audit. From there, in April, the internal auditor will start a district-wide risk assessment starting in April. So at this time, we're focusing on attendance for our district. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Newhouse. Our next item is the Board Governance Committee, and I'll recognize Dr. Jensen.
Madam President, we don't meet in December. However, we did give out awards during December. All the people who are nominated for leadership awards in Spring ISD received a certificate of recognition. And also, there were 4 people who were singled out for getting our special pin that only people who have achieved excellence in the district get, and a check, and also a certificate. I'd like to recognize those 4 people tonight. And pardon me if I mispronounce your name. This is a campus police officer, Jose Argueta. And he was at Westfield, and we found him at Spring High School, and he has done an outstanding job as a campus policeman. The next nominee was a teacher, Ms. Tompitz, a 5th grade math teacher at Birchett Elementary. And she is just a phenomenal math teacher, and we just saw her tonight, and I shook her hand. Is she still here? Good, good. Would you stand? Congratulations. And the 4th one was Rosendo Chavez Torres, and he is a driver in Stockman in our distribution center. And it was really fun meeting this whole crew. And I think these people who make our schools work by supplying us and keeping us, well, all kinds of services that they do. And I don't think they have people visit the distribution center very often, so we were glad to go out there. The 4th one was a teacher at Gloria Marshall, and her name is Mrs. Della Fuente. And she is a phenomenal 4th grade reading teacher who just goes, I'd say the extra mile, I'd say the extra 100 miles to help her students. And so we want to thank those people for working for Spring ISD, and we appreciate your excellence. And our next board meeting is January 17th. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jensen. Our next item is the Board Equity Committee, and I'll now turn it over to Trustee Adams for that update.
Thank you, Madam President. The Equity Committee did not meet in December and has not met yet in January, so I have nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. And our final committee I'd like to recognize is our Board Community Engagement Committee, and I'll now recognize Trustee Kelly P. Hodges.
Thank you, Madam President. The Community Engagement Committee we did not meet in January, and so we do not have a report at this time. Thank you.
So our next item is the consent agenda, and so now I will entertain a motion to approve and adopt all of the items on tonight's consent agenda.
President Durant, I move that the Board of Trustees approve and adopt all of the items listed on the consent agenda.
Second.
It was moved by Trustee McDaniel and seconded by Trustee Correa that the Board of Trustees approve and adopt all the items listed on tonight's consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That motion carries unanimously. The Board of Trustees will now recess this open session and convene in a closed meeting in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Section 551.0. and 551.074. No voting will take place in the closed meeting. All actions the board wishes to take as a result of the discussion in the closed meeting will take place after the board reconvenes in open session. The time is now 8:15 p.m. All right. LaTracy Harris. Friday at 5:30 o'clock. We will now reconvene and resume the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. The time is now 9:42 p.m. We will now address the items discussed during closed session. Are there any motions?
President Durant, I move that the board approve the delegation of authority to the superintendent or designee to negotiate, execute, and amend letters of intent for the purchase of properties within the not-to-exceed budget amounts as discussed in closed session.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee McDaniel and seconded by trustee Correa that the board approve the delegation of authority to the superintendent or designee to negotiate, execute, and amend the letter of intent for the purchase of property within the not-to-exceed budget amount as discussed in closed session. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That motion carries unanimously. Are there any other motions? Not hearing any, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam President, I move we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Adams and seconded by trustee Newhouse that we adjourn tonight's meeting. All those in favor, please raise your right, is there any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That motion carries unanimously. Tonight's meeting adjourns at 9:43 p.m.